I'm Real Genetic Demon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 17, Volume 7. And we've got a good one here. I like these ones. I like these ones when they're broken, look. It's already broken. The whole cassette's just smashed, as in the boxes, certainly, anyway. I like this one because we've got nothing really written here. And on the other side, it's got a few things written here. So we've got Master Games, 48K, Bruce Lee, Zorro, Cyberrun, Pole Position, Soul the Robot and Space Harrier, maybe? But there's nothing on that side, but there's definitely data there. Now, inside, on the old cover sheet, there's a few things here. It's suggesting that we may... Oh, look, it's even stuck down. It's been glued down. Look, it's been glued. It's been glued. We like this. Look, we can't see what's underneath it, actually, though. Been glued down to make it firm. But anyway, it suggests that there may be Frank Bruno's and Transformers and Sports Kings. There's been something else previously on it. It's all been stuck over with a label. We like this kind of stuff because also it says on side A, which we don't know which is side A, because I mean there's a sort of a C/2 there, maybe that is side A, but that doesn't look like side A. But it suggests that we've got 3D Starstrike, Jetpack Psst, Robin of Sherwood, Gift from the Gods, some classics on there. There's also a few other things. It says Death Chase, and all kinds of things on here. This is a wonderful tape. These are the best kind because this has got so many things on there. So without further ado, we'll get this in a tape drive. Okay, the tape is in the drive, so we're ready to go. So we'll go down to our favourite, load it, and back on the old grey +2 with the tape drive working. Hopefully it'll actually play, because these tapes, these AGF tapes, they were always a bit tight. I always found this when I had them as a kid. Anyway, let's push the button. Let's push the play button. It's going. That's a good start. That's actually a very good start. Well, I was quite quick with my intro there. I thought for a minute there, I thought I've gone a bit quickly here, but I think that was because I was actually quite eager to try the tape. There's some what I would call hits on this one, if they exist. I mean, we really don't know if they exist. I'm looking for the cover now. I don't know where to put it. Found it, just a little bit away from me, but oh. Flag. Checkered flag. Oh, right, okay. So as I said, there's some hits on here, and one of them's Checkered Flag by the looks of things, yeah, because it got double load. Do you remember when they did this? This is hilarious. So Sinclair had... What they wanted to do was load flag, but because people would type either flag in capitals, or they'd type it in lowercase, if you typed it in capitals, at least it loaded the first time round, and if you typed it in lowercase, it would load the lowercase version of it. But all the capital one did was load the lowercase version of it. It's the same blooming intro bit, but it was kind of, I don't know, getting you to load the right program. I guess if you were writing your own programs, they wanted you to load the right one. They wanted you to load the particular one that went with it. It's just a very bizarre situation, isn't it? That was the whole sort of point of that. That was to load that whole thing. Now I'm wondering if this is going to load or not, because there's a little square in the top corner of that Scion there that tells me that we have a possibility of a failure of loading. I quite like this. I always quite like Checkered Flag. Checkered Flag obviously was bundled with the plus with ZX Spectrum Plus, so that was the kind of the next version up that looked a bit like the toast rack, realistically, without the toast rack on the end and without the extra memory. And I always quite liked that particular model. My friend had one. I always thought it was kind of cool. I always quite liked it because I had a rubber key one, and he had that one. It always felt like it actually did always feel like a decent upgrade to me. I don't know about you, but I always felt that was a decent upgrade, as more solid keyboard rather than the old dead man's fingers or whatever you want to call them. You know, that sort of rubbery keyboards. I mean, so it's always felt like an upgrade. But of course, it was bundled with a lot of those. That's why there's like a billion copies of Maker Chip, Survival, Scrabble, Checkered Flag. What else am I thinking of? VU 3D in there? Do you remember that? That was the thing for modelling things in 3D. I think that might have been in there. But basically, there's about 1 billion of those, or at least several million of those that are actually out there. I mean, to be fair, that's a pretty decent sale at the end of the day. But Checkered Flag was one of those things that's bundled in it. My copy of it wasn't bundled in it because obviously I had all I had was the original Horizons tape with it, and then I had the sort of the basics that came with it. So we had to buy a tape deck to go with the whole thing as well. So it was. I don't know. You had to do that with the Plus, but just the point being that it wasn't bundled with it. So I remember going to what you call, I guess, a boutique, one of these stores that was kind of slightly more expensive that sold all kinds of things. Sort of, but it's one of those stores where it had haberdashery. Do you remember haberdashery? I don't think you see very many haberdasheries nowadays, but that kind of store which had things like seasonal sections, men's and women's clothing, but quite formal or expensive brands that were in there, and then they had escalators. I remember it being escalators, always the escalators, escalators surrounding by it. It's sort of something out of what was the name of that program? Oh, Are You Being Served? That kind of it had a department for that kind of thing, and it had a Spectrum department. I remember it being right next to cookware. It was really bizarre. So there's like cookware in one section of it, and then Spectrum stuff and computers on the others. And there was Checkered Flag, and it was on cheap, actually. I remember it being cheap. They'd put it in the bargain bin, probably because there was about 1 billion copies of it out there, and everybody had been giving it with the +2 Spectrum. But they put it in the bargain bin, and I remember buying it. I think I paid £2.95 for it, and that was Checkered Flag, and I bought that. And I was always quite impressed by Checkered Flag. I quite like. On the scale of things, this is what I would call one of them early simulator games. It was definitely a simulator rather than a racing car game, and you used to play it with friends, and you would also try and beat each other's records, and we'd all choose the one with a really long straight, and then we'd have to bang the brakes on when we got to the end of it. But the other thing that this had was a hard and soft turning as well. So there was like a hard and soft turning, so you could slightly. This is the early sort of let's get an analog feel to this. A hard turning and a tight turning or a soft turning. Bless me, sorry about that. Oh, that's loaded. I'm quite surprised by that. Paul Ricard was always the one we went to. Oh, there's one called Microdrive. I've never noticed that before. All this time. Brands Hatch, Monaco. I can't pronounce that. Australia Ring. Yeah. Is that the Nürburg nowadays? Probably is, isn't it? But Scion Park, Monza, Microdrive, Saturn Sands, Silverstone, Cambridge Ring, and of course Cambridge, isn't it? Yeah. Spacebar. No, we'll push space because it's going to give us a little demo here of it driving. Checkered Flag. Demo mode. Press I for instructions or enter to play. What's I for instructions? Oh, right, oil on the road. I never even knew this was here. That's kind of cool, actually, there's a demo in it. These were things that were seen as a feature. Do you remember this back in the day? There was features. So there's oil, causes you to skid badly. Water causes you to lose grip. Glass bursts your tyre and induces a wobble. Performance, you need a pit. Rocks can damage things. More pits. There's the pits on the side of the road. You just need to pull up next to it. You crash. If you crash off the road, cumulative damage, and then you're running out of fuel due to rocks and overheating. Right. Okay. Let's find one. Let's go with Silverstone. I fancy Silverstone. I'm gonna do 2 laps. I don't know what the accelerator is. And then there's the automatic gears, because we always used to choose McFester Special because it had automatic gears, but there was obviously the Scion and the Ferranti Turbo. Ferranti. Yes, the Ferranti, the chip that goes in the Spectrum that makes ULA chip, isn't it? Ferranti used to make them. They also did them in the Electron, didn't they, in the BBC, and then they reduced the chip count down on the Electron, so it was all in the same Ferranti. I thought that was really kind of cool. One of the things about those is you sometimes have to get them out and give them a good clean and then put them back in again. They tend to work on the Electron. But anyway, I don't know how I accelerate, though. What's accelerate? I think I've got turns. What's accelerate? Time's running out. That's pause. That's hold, sorry. That's it. And then you've got the turns, I think, on the Where's the turns? I don't know how I turn. Ah, slow down! No! Boom! Oops. Okay, would you like the same crap? Yes, I would. That's kind of handy. Accelerate. Accelerate. I'm accelerating. Putting the foot down. Don't decelerate, though. Don't, what? Whoa. I've forgotten the keys. The keys are just all over the place. What are the keys? Right. Yes, I want the same one. Well, I need to work out how to accelerate and decelerate. How do we accelerate? Let's accelerate. That's really accelerate. Oh. Right, found the left and right. Yes. It's always the fun bit about this, is finding out which is the left and right. Let's... Right, there's left and right. Okay, that's the slow left and right, I think. Yeah, there's slow left and right. I don't know what decelerate is, though. I don't know what decelerate is. Well, we'll try and make it round. I kind of like these, though. They're early simulators, as I say. No. Oh, make the slippery tyres. Oh, I just slow down. I've got to slow down. I got the accelerator and the brake. But you notice there's like a fast turn and I blew up. But there's a fast turn and a sharp turn. It's quite good, actually. I've got to admit, it was quite good for its time. But of course, it's a classic, and it always turns up on everything, doesn't it? The old checkered flag. I am going to move on because if you haven't played checkered flag, it'll be a long time since you've seen it. It's nice to see it, but it's one of ththose ones that we've all seen it before. You've seen it before. You've seen checkered flag. Everybody's seen checkered flag. We all love checkered flag. This is where there's 20 copies of it, like the Ghostbusters episode, or should I say Goatbusters. They go round hunting goats. I was listening to the radio the other day, talking of goats. This is a total tangent here. We'll go for it because we like tangents anyway. So apparently there's a goat. I can't remember its name though, and that's just the thing that's really annoying me. I can't remember its name. There is a goat breed in the United Kingdom that is extremely rare. In fact, at the point where it's on the brink of extinction. But it's not a panda or a tiger, so of course nobody's really bothered that the goat is going to be extinct. There might be more data on this tape. I definitely heard some more earlier. It's just a big gap, I think. Anyway, but yeah, this particular goat breed is on the verge of extinction. I didn't realise that, but as the man said who was brought the goat in to the radio station where it promptly peed and pooed on the floor, he said, but there's nothing really sexy about goats. Oh look, it's checkered flag. We're not having two checkered flags. I'm sorry, I'm not doing another one. Right, load, dip. Right, okay, let's fast forward the checkered flags. This is one loads of checkered flags because you always need 20 checkered flags on a tape. We've been here before. Didn't I say that was going to happen? I don't know why I thought that. Yeah, we don't want that. We want something else. Come on, we love a tape that's got crash on its mind. Cyberrun, Zorro. I don't think Zorro's ever appeared on this What's on the Tape. Zorro's one of those games. My friend had it on the Amstrad CPC, and he was like, "It's brilliant. It's like an adventure, and you wander around the sort of the mansion, and you rescue peoples and all this kind of stuff, and you've got a sword, and you obviously swipe the Z for Zorro into people's flesh, he used to play it and he used to swear by it. He used to think it was a great game, and I used to play it round at his house, and I just can't remember. I'll play it now. I like Zorro. It's one of those games that I went out of my way to collect. It's a bit like, only because of the relationship between myself and my friend as a thing, you know, something we used to play as kids. So we used to go out of my way to sort of get that that game, and as I say, I haven't really had much of a chance to kind of get into that kind of game. Right, so we skipped one. Well, fingers crossed we've not got another checkered flag. That will be just typical of this, to be honest with you. The thing is, I've got Zorro so close as well. I know it's here. It's on the shelf. It was a re-release on the Americana thing, because back in the 80s, all children required more Americanisms to go with the cola and Pepsi that was there. But yes, there was a lot. There was a lot of them. I hope this isn't one of those literally just a whole tape full of checkered flag, just so that somebody can avoid sort of. Come on, not checkered flag, not checkered flag, not checkered flag. Oh, good. Something else. Good. I was excited for a minute there. I was a little worried that we were just going to get the same thing. Formula 1, #1 is loading. Oh, wow. I think, do you know something? I have a sneaking suspicion that I played this on, if it's the one I think it is. Oh, yes. No, it isn't. No, it's not the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of a different one. Oh, this is the one on the Mastertronic title. I don't remember this one. Don't remember this one at all. This could be full of car games, this particular tape. I may have played it on the channel at some point, possibly. I think. Don't know. Can't remember. I love the fact that you can literally see, as it does this, the data loading across these particular things, attribute by attribute, when it's loading those. I kind of think that's kind of cool. That's a good picture of the old Formula 1 car coming at us. Just driving straight into us. There's a little man in there. He must be very thin, though. Don't they make cockpits that fit people in Formula 1? I think they do, don't they? I think every vehicle is kind of designed to fit you, and you literally get in with your steering wheel and tiny. That must be really, really uncomfortable. Do you know, I've never really thought about Formula 1 before, but that has to be really uncomfortable. First off, you have to fit in the cockpit. Then you have to have that tiny little steering wheel with all the digital information on it, and obviously I guess they don't have gear sticks like they used to, or whatever else it is. I don't even know how they did the gears back then, to be honest with you. But I'm assuming it's all digital nowadays. That must be and then you're in a fireproof outfit, because these things can sometimes crash and explode. You're in a fireproof outfit and got a helmet on, which you've got peeling layers that you've got to pull off, don't you? Because you have to peel them off when you get the bugs stuck to it. Or do they not get bugs stuck to it? Well, I think in motorcycles here. Either way, even if they didn't have peeling layers, and then they're squished into this teeny little box to go really fast. Yeah. That sounds horrible, actually, as a thing. It might be nice to watch, but it sounds absolutely horrible as something to do. I can't think of anything worse. It's probably because I've had a bad back in the past. I'm thinking about squidging myself into a tiny little box. I mean, going fast, I suppose, is quite fun, but squidging myself in a tiny little box has got to be a bad thing. Doesn't sound nice. I was driving home today. I've been working and I drove home. This is kind of me recording on a different day for me, so I can get kind of do the bits and pieces for the weekend, get this stuff out to you, and you can all have fun. But I was driving home today, and my entire city, every blooming link in it has been a major artery throughout my city has got some form of roadworks on at the moment. And instead of taking me it only takes me 15-20 minutes to get home. It took me 45 minutes, so double the time, and that was just annoying. I know other people have much bigger commutes than that, but I've never been a big fan of huge commutes if I can help it. I've always been close by wherever I've worked because it suits me. But yeah, it was a long commute across the city, just because we're on cars, by the way. That's the whole sort of tenuous link there. We're on Formula 1 cars because my car's a Formula 1 car. No, it's not. There's that Atom thing, isn't there? Isn't that Atom that they've got, which is like a Formula 1 car, which is like a single-seated? Can you get double one of those? I think you can, can't you? I always think it's strange because it's got no roof at all. It's just literally a little roller skate, Formula 1 type thing. Right, okay. Oh, steering wheel? As the Spectrum just told me something I never knew about before. You could get a steering wheel for a Spectrum. I don't think I've ever seen a steering wheel for a Spectrum. Anybody seen a steering wheel for a Spectrum? That sounds unbelievable. This circuit or next? What's next? Well, we've done Silverstone already, haven't we? this circuit or next? Has this hung? This doesn't look good. This looks like it's stuck. Have you stuck? I'm pressing every key. It's gone poppage. Oh no. Don't like that. Never even played this one before. No idea what it is. Well, it's Formula 1 cars, obviously, but, you know, I've never played the game before. Come on. It's gone pop. I hate it when it does that. Absolutely hate it when it does that. Right, we'll move on. We'll see whether or not I can sort something else out. And we'll see if we can... Oh, do I want to move on? Want to try it again? Oh. We're rewinding. Come on, we'll give it another try. Come on, we're not quitters. We're not quitters here. We're going to give it another try. So we've got it on basic. And then loaded it. Have you got a beverage? I've got coffee. I have got a large cup of coffee. I got my flake mug, actually. You know how much I love the flake mug. One of these days I'm going to cut it in. When I have a million hours free to do the all the things that I want to do with what's on the tape. When I've got my own editing crew. Just got to wait on that sweet Amazon Prime deal. Stroke Netflix. Don't want to knock them out of the race yet. And of course we've always got Disney. They may very well still swoop in and steal my heart away. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Boop. That's nearly there. Nearly there. There we go. F1 program. Right, brilliant. F1 code and F1 program. Once the screen shot and once the code. There we go. It's loading it there. You can see the data going across. We've started, so we'll have to have a little go finish, if that makes sense. So, yeah. What was I saying? Yes. Oh. Netflix deals. Not happening yet. Working on it. Yeah. The Disney, of course, coming in there with lots of money. Just buying their way through. A bit like Amazon, of course. Schmoozing me. Sent round Mickey Mouse to kick my head in. Threatened me with broken legs. I would try and do a Mickey Mouse voice, but I can't do it. But yeah, no, he didn't. They didn't send round Mickey Mouse to beat me up. Well, Disney Plus, that would be it. Do you know something? The thing about Disney Plus, right? I'll be honest, and I apologise as well. At the same time, I do have Disney Plus because I do like Star Wars, and I'm terrified by the fact that they're doing an Ahsoka series soon. I'm absolutely terrified by the fact that they could ruin one of my absolutely favourite characters of the not expanded universe, but the canon universe that they kind of Disney did all right with. The Ahsoka character is a character I really like. And I'm really worried that they're going to make an absolute arse of the live-action TV series. I know she's appeared in Mandalorian a couple of times, but I really don't want them to break it. I really don't. I don't really want it at all. Not at all. I don't want them to break that character, but I'm a bit concerned about that. But that's coming soon. There's a new series of Mandalorian as well. But of course, it's become the Grogu and Mandalorian show, and I wish the little Yoda thing wasn't the Yoda-esque creature alien thing wasn't so marketable as a character. But and of course this the thing about Disney Plus is that that's it. Marvel. And you've obviously got a few other things on there, but it's funny though. They added the Star Network, which is kind of like I think did they buy Fox? Was it? Yeah, they bought Fox, obviously. So Star Network is part of the Fox, I think, part of the Fox network, and they put that on there. And there's a whole bunch of sort of TV programs. And I think they realised then that people were actually watching that more than they were watching the other stuff. I think there's only so many Disney princesses you can actually handle on the whole thing. That's why they need to buy What's on the Tape to boost their thing. We can have Mickey Mouse on it doing What's on the Tape. No, I'm only kidding, but you know what I mean. Well, I'm not, because they offered me $1 billion. I'm up for it. A billion Mickey Mouses or something. No. But the point is that I think they realised that everybody was not watching all of their stuff. I mean, I'm utterly bored with the Marvel stuff. I don't know about anybody else, but utterly bored with it. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I'm not even going to go. I'm not going to go with the pictures to watch it. It's pure Allen Poor, in my opinion, at the moment, the Marvel side of it, which is a shame because the comic books were damn good. Comic books once upon a time. I don't know what's happened to them. Actually, to be fair, I've stayed away from it. I know that Warner Brothers owns DC Comics, but at least they seem to be letting their comic side run riot and do their things. But when it comes to Marvel, I'm not sure at the moment. I've kind of grown out of it. I always feel this is how it kind of goes. I mean, I was a kid of a 2000 AD generation when it came to comics. So that's where I started, 2000 AD. Keyboard. Next. It's not going to work, is it? It's not working. Why aren't you working? I'm going to try plugging in a joystick for a second. I'm going to see if I can find a joystick handy. Just a second. Oh, that was fun. I've got a joystick handy. I just sort of tucked away. Let me just put this in the joystick port. We'll plug this in. Amazing. Right, okay. I have plugged it in. Maybe they need a steering wheel. No, absolutely nothing. Not a sausage. Right, so that's not working. So let's carry on. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, reset the specky. Off the specky goes. And let's see what else we've got on here. This is where there's like 2 copies of this as well, just in case we needed another one. Formula 1. Anybody played it on the Mastertronic Formula 1? It's not one I recognise. It's not one that I bought. To be fair, I don't think. I think there's one that I quite like that was given away free on a cover tape a long time ago. There was a Christmas one called Racer, I think it was called, or something similar. And it's one that I quite like, and it has appeared on What's on the Tape before. And all it was is about sort of chasing through the back of cars and overtaking stuff. And it was an ocean game that was never released in any other format. Oh, was it? Oh no, I'm lying. Somebody did release it in a format. LB. I don't know what LB is. Little Big Planet, maybe. No, I'm only kidding. LB. All right, okay. Anyway, but it was not released in any other format, and it was. That was weird. It was flashing green, whatever else it is. That's a speed loader. That's not good. Anyway, it wasn't released it was released in another format. I have seen it. It's some kind of ocean racing game. I always quite liked it. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I don't even know what LB is though. I'm going to struggle to establish what LB is. Let's do load dit again, and we'll give it another try. Speed loaders are bad. They're very bad because the specky doesn't really like them. This is why if anybody's ever played it, and I know Mel Bell mentioned it a while ago, a game called Strange Loop, and I remember really liking Strange Loop, but I've only ever seen Strange Loop load once. And it loaded once, and that was it. And now, of course, these tapes are 40 plus years old, and Strange Loop loads for no man whatsoever. I can't even remember really what it was about. I remember it was exploration. There was some spacecrafts in it. It's one of those games. It's like a bit of a unicorn type thing. I have no idea what LB is, so I think we're gonna have to move on. I'm afraid we're gonna have to move on because we don't know what LB is. So LB. Can anybody think what LB could be? LB. What was on that cover? Wherever it was. Not that this cover actually has any bearing on anything that's on here from it. Gift from God. No, it's not any of them. LB. It's not trans. Do you know what? This is the best tape ever because there's nothing that actually matches up with it. Somebody's recorded over it and over and over and over in it. Well, at least we've had one game load. Typical. I can't remember who said in the comments. I know who it was. Thank you very much for saying this. Said in the comments, I like it when it doesn't load because you have to talk. And You know, if anything, I like a bit of filler. I'm a good filler, you know, with this kind of stuff. I do need another gulp of coffee though. That's definitely need that. But I am quite good at the filling kind of thing. Let's do this. Ah, a space on the tape. Maybe there's something coming. Where are we on the tape? What's on the tape? We're halfway through. This is a very short one if it carries on like this, though, I'm afraid. Coffee's so good. I love coffee. Maybe I could do a sponsorship deal with one of these coffee houses. Which ones? I think we have to stay away from Starbucks because they don't pay tax, do they? I think that's the one we have to stay away from. They don't like paying tax. Should say no. They do pay tax, but they only pay small amounts of tax. Does Costa pay their tax? Can I get sponsored by Costa Coffee for what's on the tape? I could go with that. Can they deliver it during the episodes? That would be lovely. I'll take it. Actually, you know what I've quite gotten to as well at the moment. And it's just a friend of mine's got me into this. I quite like the flat white, which seems to be which is quite nice. I quite like that. I think it's just shot of espresso, isn't it, and milk? Quite like those. Traditional coffee is where most people would call it, but yeah, just a shot of espresso and a whatever else it is. I like a cappuccino. However, I also believe that Costa should have a notice that says if you don't have with the Costa coffee and the top of it, or not Costa, but any coffee house, any barista should have a little note that basically says, I heard voices on the tape there. If you don't have chocolate on the top of your cappuccino, get a latte. And that's what it should say. No chocolate, get a latte. Yeah, because I'll be honest. I often say that I hear people say no chocolate on the top. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? That's the whole point of it. That little bit of sweet, chocolatey taste on the top of it. It's just pointless without it. What are you doing? Watching your waist for a single little splash of chocolate on the top. I'm feeling very militant today, aren't I? You know, picking on the if you drink do you drink your cappuccino without chocolate on it? If you're in the comments, nobody should do that. It's not normal. It's not normal. Normal people drink it with a. This tape's empty, by the way. This is blooming brilliant. This. I was going to do a two-parter on this one, but at this point in time, I'm feeling the need to actually go on the other side and do that side. That's just a quiet tape. That's me nearly finished it, by the way. I've fast-forwarded it through. So basically, we've had in 30 minutes we've had a good we've checkered flag. Well done, you. Enjoy. Wow. Checkered flag. That's your lot. I'm flipping this tape in a second. I'm not having that. Not 30 minutes of checkered flag. Honestly, nothing else on here. Unbelievable. Right, flipping it over. God knows how many of these things are going to load on the other side. We got Master Games, 128k, 48k. Bruce Lee. If the Bruce Lee loads, I'll be utterly delighted. Right, we're going over the Bruce. I've flipped the tape. I'm not even doing another episode. You've watched so far. We've got to have some stuff load. That has to happen. We can't have 30 minutes of absolutely nothing. So we're going to load the tape with some other stuff and see whether or not we've got some other good stuff on the other side. It'll be typical if it's blank. It's quiet thus far. Bruce Lee. Nothing. Damn you, you horrible tape. It doesn't want to load. This is Satan's own tape, this one. He's given me the bad tape. Come on. I'm gonna have to go get the tape deck thing. I actually didn't think I'd need it today. Come on. You know you want to. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Do you know what the genuine excitement I had for that 1 second there before it went R-tape error was genuine. Can't believe it. Bruce Lee, one of the best Spectrum games. Honestly, this is a great game though on the Spectrum, the Amstrad CPC, the Commodore 64, and we can debate the merits of the machines, but it is a proper cracking game. And to be fair, it was the first game I ever played on an Amstrad CPC, a Commodore 64. Now, let me just go grab the tape converter thing so that I can put it in the other tape drive. 1 second. Come in. I'm just running all the way. I forgot to get it to this time round. I was not. I thought, for some reason, I thought everything was going to work this week. I thought it was all going to work this week, and then, of course, it's not worked at all because it's not very nice to me. It doesn't like me. Typical. Last week's tape episode, by the way, was an absolute marathon because I think there was 2 stops in it. If you know that you didn't pause for it, but it was a marathon session. I mean, it was epic from my point of view. That kind of stretched over a time period of about 5.5 hours to actually record it. And when you watch about 2 hours, I think of it, but it was an epic 5.5 hours from my point of view. Absolutely monstrous sort of timing. Right, okay, let's give this tape a go in here. In the other tape deck. Lovely. Here we go. Bruce Lee. Now, this is, as I say, this is one of the first games I played on the Amstrad CPC. And I remember, not Amstrad CPC. I keep saying Amstrad CPC. Amstrad CPC is brilliant, but I mean on the Commodore 64. My friend had it, and he was one of. I only had one friend with a Commodore 64. Not for any particular reason. There was no murder involved in anything to do with Commodore 64 owners. But he had one. I remember watching it loading, and it had the music, for as it loaded, because Commodores didn't need all of this. This is kind of a hangover from the ZX81 and the ZX80. Actually, it was a visual way of seeing it. It doesn't need to be there necessarily, but they did it anyway. So they did version for Spectrum version by Ocean. I didn't realise it was Ocean that did it. Datasoft. Anyway, Bruce Lee, from the Spectrum version of it, or from the Commodore 64 version of it, I remember the loading screen and all the bits and pieces with it, and the fact that we could play, somebody could play the sumo wrestler, and somebody could play Bruce Lee, and you could play together, and one was trying to prevent the other one completing the mission to stop the evil magician. It was a great game, very good indeed, very, very playable, great deal of game, but I didn't even know it was on the Spectrum, so I never even went looking for it back in the day. I really didn't. It wasn't until later that somebody said, you can get Bruce Lee for the Spectrum. And I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. But I did not know it was on the. Didn't know it was on the the Spectrum. If I'd known it was, I would have gone chasing it. I think I would have taken my parents to WH Smith's to look for a copy of it. That would have been the thing. I'd have gone there and said, "We've got to get a copy." Or taking my granny to her local WH Smith when I was on holiday. In the summer holidays with her. That would have been the other thing I would have done. It would have been fantastic, brilliant thing. A really good game, really, really, really good game. I know there's a slightly. I guess the word hacked version of it, which allows you to have more of the little ninjas. So there's little ninjas down there, and you can see it in the picture there, Bruce Lee fighting the little ninjas. There was one version with more ninjas in it than the previous version. So it's a double ninja and the sumo wrestler. Very cool addition to the whole thing. The one thing I always remember is the sound when you get knocked down. It's just do do do. That's the noise you get to hear when he gets kind of knocked down, isn't it? Do do do. Very good. Cracking game. Love it. Do you think I love it? I love it. Because his son... oh, no! Oh, this tape hates me. It hates me. Absolutely hates me. This What's on the Tape is just one of those episodes. I can feel it now. I'm there trying very hard to give you a blistering super... I don't need next. Blisteringly good, fun episode of What's on the Tape, and we keep running into the same issues, those errors of exploding games. I'm going to try it one more time from here, and then I'm going to use the PlayZX, which is in the description below if you need to know how to use it. It's an Android app. I don't know if the same thing appears on the iTunes store. They're a bit funny, the iTunes store, because Doesn't Apple see it as piracy or something like that? When you know, there's like these libraries, back catalogs, libraries. They get a bit of an odd bunch, aren't they, with that kind of stuff? I mean, we're talking 40-year-old technology, and the only way it's surviving is in the brains of us nostalgia fueled Spectrum owners and Commodore owners and Amstrad CPC owners and BBC owners and all this kind of stuff. We're the ones kind of still looking at these, playing these things, and I would look. I know that they're ending up on Steam. I think I mentioned this before, that the Pixel Games, I think it's called, Pixel Games has been buying up the IP for these things and then putting emulators on them and sticking them onto Steam. But I get that. That's quite nice for those people who don't want to run the old hardware or bring up an emulator and do that. But a lot of these games are free nowadays to copy and publish and use. A lot of them are. There's very few that are distribution denials on them. Most of the Codemasters, to be honest with you, good old Codemasters has got a lot of distribution denial. I think this was actually one of those ones that fits into this category as well, distribution denial, because I think that because it's owned by the Lee family, and I think they're very IP conscious, if that makes sense. One of these things before IP was a thing. When Sega used to put a Ferrari in its games, and now doesn't put a Ferrari in its games. What did I play recently where they had it on? Oh yeah, the new Sega. So they got the new Sega Mega Drive 2, which has got some CD games in it. It also includes Outrun, but it includes the Outrun where they've redone the sprites for the car. So it's no longer Ferrari. It's no longer Ferrari Testarossa. It's this unicorn thing. It's like a flying. It's got Pegasus on the back of it. I think. Is it Pegasus? No. Oh, it's got wings. I think it is a Pegasus on the back of it. Yes, Pegasus got wings. Pegasus got wings, hasn't it? So Pegasus on the back with, and they changed the shape of the car and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, really? You're not even going to allow them to use the ROM the original ROM for it without editing the graphics out? It's kind of disappointing, isn't it? Do you know what this is, though? It's an editing of history, isn't it? All of these things where they re-edit these games because they can. I mean, Disney does it quite a lot with them. Talking back to Disney Plus, it does it a lot with its own films or things that it owns. It just edits them down. It's like the TV edit of things. Do you remember the TV edit when they used to do that kind of thing? So they used to edit them down because it wasn't suitable for telly, but it could be sold, done something else. I remember seeing Weird Science, and Weird Science, the TV edit is completely different. You nasty piece of work, you. Right, okay, let's have a little go with. Let's have a swap to something else, and we'll see if we can get it to load from here. So the TV edit of it is completely different to the actual one from the movie. There's a lot of bad language and swearing and things like that. Now let's just push the buttons here and we'll get the find that PlayZX. Let's find this. It's Bruce Lee. That shorter one will do me nicely. Done. Play. There we go. Lovely. So shorter. A shorter sort of different type of edit, and when I watched Weird Science for the first time, when it wasn't the TV edit, which I remembered and loved mightily, I was actually quite disappointed with the bad language being put back into it. I got not big major complaints about it. I mean, it still has Kelly LeBrock in it, didn't it? So I mean, we can't really complain about that. Yeah, what do you little maniacs want to do first? Do you remember that line? Oh dear me. Yeah, that was a moment, wasn't it? There with her permed hair, her gigantic lips, and other gigantic articles in nothing but a t-shirt and a pair of gym pants. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that was a movie. Was Hughes, wasn't it? What was his first name? John Hughes. John Hughes. Yeah, he did a lot of stuff. There was a lot of teenage angst movies like that by the same thing. Pretty in Pink and The Breakfast Club. I used to love The Breakfast Club. I thought Breakfast Club was great, actually. I quite liked that. I don't know the kind of, the kind of a time and whatever else it's, but they're still, they're not as relevant as they are now. I guess they're not as relevant nowadays. I mean, they've all got mobile phones, so they don't talk to each other anymore. They all text each other. But either way, it just yeah. I mean that was a movie, but I did enjoy Weird Science. Weird Science was a cracker. There were some good ones from the 80s. You know, some good movies from the 80s and early 90s. So I think we lived through. If you're as old as me, you probably lived through. I think we lived through a better cinematic period than we're living through right now. I think now is most definitely a low in storytelling and writing. It's not. There's a lot of forced agendas rather than the beauty of a gorgeous story. However, tell you what, I really was upset about, because I quite enjoyed it. Did anybody watch Ender's Game? I quite liked Ender's Game. It had Harrison Ford in it, and it was based on a book by, and I can't remember his name now, top of my head, but based on a book about sort of this child and children who were forced, sort of sent to war effectively without knowing they were at war, and genocide and of a species and all this kind of stuff. And it's a nice little. It's a good story. I quite liked it. It was aimed at kids' books originally, but it's this sort of sci-fi sort of generals and all this kind of stuff. And I have to admit, I quite liked it. It was a good movie. I thought it was quite good. I don't know how close it was to the book, but certainly was quite good. But they didn't do any more of them because it wasn't very popular at the pictures, and we didn't go and see it. I mean, it's not. It is. Remember, it is very child orientated in the sense of of how it's aimed. Oh, you little beauty! Do 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 do. I love that. There you go, trademark Linda Lee. That's being, I think, his wife. I've got to remember the buttons though. QAOP. Oh yeah, that's it. Space kick. Yeah, we can do that. So enter to begin the game. There we go. That's Bruce Lee. Now I've got to collect all of these and do some press ups. So we're very much. He's a very. We can fly and kick these guys. And I'm gonna do that. Bye. You've got to collect all of the lanterns because it opens special routes through things, which is and it's basically these guys appear and attempting to stop you. They work for the magician. And they're attempting to stop me. Oh, got a hit there. They're attempting to stop Bruce from gaining entry to the magician's lair. It's a good game, though. Very good game. As I say, it's one of the few games, and I don't know if I will finish it in this one, but it's one of the few games that I can finish. Certainly still today, I think I can still finish it. I love the way I was thinking gazelles when he jumps over there. So we've done that, and now we have to go in here, and there's a hole in the floor that's opened. So that's opened there. Brilliant. Let's go through here. And let's go like this. Bleep. Oh. You can make them fight each other, by the way. Oh! Do-do-do! There's the noise I said. There we go, drop. You get all of these, and it will open up the way through in a minute. And then down here. And he gets killed. Do-do-do. And we fall down here. I got this sort of beam that goes up here. We've got to climb and avoid the swords. So, pop off the edge of here. Down we go. Wonderful. We climb up here, and they get killed by the swords, by the way. They do, because they're not bright. Then we come over here. Do-do-do. Climb up here. Time the little drop at the bottom here. I love the way it's a combination of timing and karate all at the same time. Oh, that was close. There's explosive things on the floor that I've just jumped over there. So... Oh, God. He's just got blown up by the explosion. And opens this door over here. Run, run, run. Ah. I'm an idiot. Opens the door below there, so we need to go in here to open up this thing here. Doing. That's probably not the right word. Doing. 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 Up we go. And jump over here. And then over here. And then down here. Look at me concentrating, by the way. You can hear it. Can you hear me concentrating? There we go. And that way. And then over there, like that. And up this one. God, I'm doing well so far. I'm not just jinxed it completely, by the way. Oh, how do I get to that? I can't remember. Oh, how do I get to that? I can't remember. Can't remember. It's been a while. Oh, no. Don't walk on the saw. Oh, God. No. You idiot. There we go. Don't walk on the sword. I walk straight on the sword. Right. Up there we go. Up this one. Let's climb up here. Right, what am I meant to do here? I can't remember now. I think I drop off the edge. That's what I do. I drop off the edge. And I get that one there. That's what I do. There you go. Been a while. There we go. Gets rid of those ones there. So we can climb up there. I need to go down here. I climb down. Blink. And then that goes up. There we go. Still got one fall left. I like the way there's some levels where they don't have the creatures on because it would be too complex, and I think that's kind of a cool development idea. The whole development of this one's a really good one. It really is. Datasoft should be commended for the approach to this one. It's really good. So this is our back to this room below, and then we need to go up. There we go, we're back here. Now the face of these things should be going mental. See the little ball things on the bottom there? The faces are going because there's an open door over this side now. See, I've remembered all this. I'm pretty good at this. Look at this. Right, climb up here, and then there's this castle bit here. We got to go across. Boom. There we go. I'm going to fall all the way down there because we can. Boom. Boom. Down here. Right. Jump that. Now they sort of changed the shape of these things at this point. Shit. Game over. Ah! You're all so close to the end of that one. I'm not going to play it again because I'll be here all night if I do that. So we're going to carry on with the next bit on the tape. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a cracker. That's a really good game. It's well worth playing that one. Right, let's go for it. Let's push the button. We love a bit of what's on the tape because it's just all about, it's actually pure blind luck whether or not 30 or 40-year-old tapes actually load. I mean, can't think of anything better than trying to get 30 or 40-year-old tapes to load. It's just amazingly stupid fun. I do recommend it, I do recommend it. But if you do have tips, you want to donate to the whole thing, I will credit all that are sent to me. So if you contact me, there's in the comments or drop me an email. There's some I think you can get my email address from the info part of the channel. So if you want to drop me an email, say you've got some tapes you want to send on over, that would be cool. I like tapes. I've got quite a lot at the moment though, so I'll be honest, I've not been on the big rampage for finding them. I keep getting people keep sending me links to things on eBay, or I'll keep buying them for the cost of the postage. But there's quite a lot of fun to be had from this kind of stuff. I'll admit, I have had a lot of fun over over what's on the tape, and in the past as well. I still hope in my head, and I know there's so many Spectrum games out there. There's another Datasoft game. They made a couple of games, right? I still hope that in my head that one day I'll come across the game that I think that I don't know what it's called, and all I remember is it was obviously black and white background. Let's say black and white, no, black background. With sort of red walls on it, like brick walls. Green plants in places. You were a little smiley face, so a yellow smiley face. That's what you were. Your character was, and you had to collect stuff. And I can't remember the name of the game, and honestly, it's one of these things that burns into my brain. I feel I want to find this game, but I don't know what it is. And I remember enjoying it a lot. And it was very much found on one of these compilations. A friend of mine loaned it to me, and I can't even remember the title of it, just even worse. I remember enjoying playing it a lot because it wasn't too difficult, but it wasn't too easy. You had to sort of move around, I think, independently. It allows you to move in all directions. So it's kind of a game that's burned into my brain. I kind of want to play that game again if I can find it, but as yet I've not found that game. It's a game that I quite fancy. I remember watching Zorro though on a Sunday morning, Saturday or Sunday morning more than likely, Sunday morning, because they used to have a little bit of sort of black and white things, didn't they? Black and white sort of I guess westernized westerns and things. I say westernized, not westernized, but you know, I mean westerns. A lot of that kind of stuff was a thing. My granddad used to love it. He used to love watching sort of things, you know, sort of westerns on the telly. He always liked the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, and Ugly. And I have to admit, I think as a kid, that's because I used to watch it quite a lot. That was a movie that was has stuck with me. I always think it is quite a good one. Good old Clint, still alive, isn't he? Oh, he's in his 90s now. Still doing movies as well. It's unbelievable. It's one of those kind of. It's a bit like he's one of those. Don't you dare. What have you done? Oh, what's on the tape? So what's on the tape? Right, okay. Where's my tape? Where's my other way of loading it? Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do here. Let's find what's on the tape again. We'll get this thing. We'll get this loading. Loaded it. And we'll do Zorro. Zorro, the re-release. Let's press the button. Wow, the re-release is really quick. Hey, very quick. The original US Gold version's really quick as well. That's amazing. Let's do the re-release. That's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be to load. A lot faster. Very quick loader. Zorro. Did he kind of shout his name as he chopped into you with this thing? Because it would do 3 swipes, wouldn't he? You know, was it left to right, down to the corner, and then left to right again? That was kind of his thing. Zorro. It's like the mark of Zorro. Yeah, you had no chance. Once Zorro had you, that was it. You were zapped. You were speared. Wrong words. It wasn't a spear, it was a sword. So I don't like fencing foil, actually, more than anything else, wasn't it? Yeah, fencing foil. Do you remember fencing foils? Do you have a fence? Anybody have a fence? I did a little bit. Just a little bit. I only know a few manoeuvres, not very much. It's all about putting your hand behind your back. It's all Errol Flynn. You remember Errol Flynn? There's some. I'll tell you what, I'm digging deep here with things that I remember from my childhood. And you know, sort of was he in Robin Hood and a few other things like that? He was, wasn't he? Gallivanting around the countryside with his fencing. You know, one arm in the air and you know, sort of whipping his little swords around. More for stabbing those, by the way. They're not really for chopping. They're not really for Zorro's swiping. I suppose you could do. I've been known to cut and leave marks and things like that. A friend of mine used to do saber fighting. That's where it's slightly curved blade. Interesting. But anyway, that's completely aside again. But well, not really, because we're doing Zorro as well. What was the other ones that were on the weekend? What was he called? The one where Johnny Depp was the Indian later on. What was that one? Johnny Depp. They remade it with Johnny Depp the Indian, and everybody said it was culturally offensive, wasn't it, for Johnny Depp to be the Indian? Can't remember what that was. I'll be honest, I can't remember that one. I don't remember it was. Keyboard, 1. Right, okay, so... what are we doing? We got the music. Enter to start. There we go. So we've got to rescue her. Do I... Oh, look, let's grab that. Oh, that's what I'm meant to do. Better grab that for the lady. Yes, Marcozoro. Oh, I've got zapped by... I don't know how you get zapped by that, but anyway. I don't know how that works, really. I just kind of chopped at him. Man in the bar. Man sleeping on the bar. I've got to save her. There she is. Save me. Where's me up and down? Is that me up and down? I don't know where me up and down is. That must be... There must be an up and down. Where's the up and down? Must be an up and down. I want to go up the ladder. That's because you've got to get these keys as well. I remember this. But I can't work out... hang on. I thought that was the button. I'm obviously wrong. Ah! So that's... Ooh. Because you have to pick that up. It's a key. You remember this. Zoro! And you got to get the key. That's jump. Ah, but jump also makes you walk up and down the stairs. Right, okay. And that sofa makes you bounce. Boing, boing, boing. Wow, I kind of get some height. That's one hell of a... Oh, God. There we go. I've got Z for Zoro on there. Yeah, there's something you're meant to do. I can't remember what it is. I'm climbing up here. Yeah. That's definitely down. I don't know what attack is, though. Is it space? Is it N, M? There's a button to press it up there. She's gone there. Look, she's off that way. There she is. You've got to rescue her, but they can't get to her because they put up the blooming... So I've got to rescue this lady. It's all about rescuing her. It's been years since I played this, though. I'll be honest, it has been years. Quick load, though. 2.5 minutes. That's a fast load. You know, when they talk about the past taking longer, I bet it takes longer to load some modern day PC games over this. It's a proper fast loader. There is something I've got to do, and it's to do with this key, and I don't know how to pick it up. That's the worst part. I don't know how to pick this key up. I know that I want it. I know I need it. I don't know. Yeah, because you got to put something on there so that you can spring up and bounce. You can jump off. So you put something on that side. So then when you jump off that side over there, you go out the window, and then you can spring onto that pole to get the bits and pieces there. Honestly, there's some really weird stuff about this. Can I get down there? Oh, and you've got to put something on here to winch this up so you can go down this thing here. I mean, it's honestly, this is one of these little adventure games that needs a bit more. Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, I wonder. Oh, hang on. Climb up the tree. Oh, I can go down here. And I can jump across here. Cool. Oh. Ah! I don't think this is going to get... Damn. Yeah, it's quite interesting, though. It's been a long time since I played Zoro. There's definitely something to it, but I can't... Without the keys, it's a bit difficult to play, I'll be honest. Without knowing what the keys are, you're going to struggle with it. Right, let's see what else is on here. But I think it's actually quite a logical adventure game. You know, along lines of some other sort of what they would later call action adventures. There's quite a lot of them that are quite logical, and that's one of these games that is quite logical, realistically. Oh, got an itchy leg. Itchy leg. Sitting here for an hour. You've been sitting there watching for an hour, hopefully. I wonder what everybody watches on. What do you watch on mostly? Do you watch on your mobile phones, or do you watch on your TVs, or do you watch on I don't know what else you can watch on tablet maybe? Tablet? Kind of covers everything, doesn't it? Smartphone, tablets. Yeah, TVs, games consoles, I suppose. Games consoles, but that's again TV, really, isn't it? You know, PC, yeah. I don't know how Mac users there are. I know you can get these stats when I actually look at YouTube. It tells you who's watching what. It's going slowly. This could be it. This could have been it. This could be it. Zorro could be our entire lot on this side of the tape. I love most about what's on the tape is the randomness of the whole thing. It just sometimes you get everything, and sometimes you get nothing. Oh wow, this is the randomest tape ever. I'm quite pleased that I decided to do both sides though, because I think we may be. Oh, hang on, I lie. Oh. Right, we'll go back a bit. Oh, there we go. Cyberrun. Fully random, that. Big long space there in front of that one. So, Cyberrun. I picked this up recently. It was a very cheap, cracked and damaged copy of it. No instructions. No. I think you get cleaning tape with it as well from Ultimate. One of the last games they did as Ultimate, I think. Play the game. I may be wrong. This is a really weird one. This is about spaceships, sailing ships, something like that. On a run across space. I suppose you could say it was like Star Wars, wasn't it? You know, it's like a parsec run or something like that. This has appeared before on What's on the Tape. It's not one of my favourite. It's a bit too harsh. It's about like Lunar Jetman. Lunar Jetman's kind of wants to kill you. It's one of those games that's basically. I mean, once I realised you could get in the shuttle thing and you can't get killed by this thing, so that was quite nice to know. But when you're outside the shuttle, you might as well just be, I don't know, wearing a plastic bag or something like that. Everything kills you very quickly. It's amazing, isn't it, to think back in the day that we got good, and not to quote the kids nowadays, get good. We had to get good with these things, and it's quite amazing to think that this is what we had to do. You had to get good at these things to do anything, and there was a serious amount of challenge as a child, or a teenager to beating something that somebody else couldn't beat, and we were kind of cool. I mean, it's interesting to see that some of the cool games nowadays are things like Dark Souls-esque, and being good at those is quite a wow, you're really good at that kind of game, and people are quite impressed by that. But back in the day, all the games were pretty much like that. There were very few that were what you would call easy. There were very few that were forgiving enough to allow you to kind of complete them or respawn or sort of your lives end and you start again at the same position. That was just not done. That was not the thing, but Cyberrun is one of those kind of games that's sort of unrelentingly nasty from experience. It's a really weird one as well, because it kind of holds up in a double dual case as well. I don't think they did a cardboard box of it. It's just a very weird part of the history of Ultimate, isn't it? I don't think there was many others that were double dual. I think Gunfight wasn't it? That was a double dual. Was Pentagon? Don't know. I know that there was quite a lot that they and I guess that was the money saving in the end. I guess not printing this and producing those boxes was no longer seen as quite the thing to do. But I still think those boxes are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really gorgeous, beautiful stuff. So they're really nice. I mean, I still love. I mean, I know it's all they're isometric goodies, but I really love Underworld. Underworld is one of those games that is silly because you can't die in Underworld, if you remember. Well, you can't die. You can die, but the creatures just knock you off things, and I think if you fall too far, you die. If I remember rightly. That's the general gist of it, but it's just so annoying because they just knock you off things. They don't actually necessarily kill you. It's other things that kill you, which is an interesting concept, to be honest with you. They're just there to bully you on the level rather than actually knock you off, and rather than just kill you, if that makes sense. They did the same in Soul the robot. It's Soul the robot. I think it's is it the height that kills you or something similar? It's something like that rather than necessarily always the creatures that are in the level. They just kind of knock you around a bit and get in your way. But we've got that on here as well. This is apparently some point, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is going to be one of them either epically short videos, by the way, or epically long videos. I'm not very popular with the young'uns with my long videos, but you know, with the old short as they're called. Yeah, I've got. Why have we got attention span of a gnat nowadays? I don't understand this. I don't have long. I'm sure I've got a better attention span than that. Definitely sure I've got a definitely better attention span than that. But maybe I don't. Oh, we've got one that loads actually from this. Right, keyboard. A. 0. Do. What's my controls? That's shoot. That's left. Oh god. Right, okay. This is going well. Do. There we go. Get this booster. That allows me to fly better. I'm not sure what the idea of Cyber Run is, by the way. I'm really not. Other than to avoid getting smashed by those things. I'm not sure about Cyber Run in that sense. Yeah, we'll shoot him. Oh, whatever that was is gone. Oh god. Get away from me. Wow. Yeah. Tough to tell what I'm meant to be doing. Let's go up this mountainside, though. I think I've taken a hit here. Substantial hit. Oh, I've taken another hit. You can take 2 hits and then you die. What is Cyber Run all about? Ah, another booster. There we go, building my ship. Oh, I can move a lot faster now. I remember that now, that we built it up, but I'm not sure why we were building it up. So we're flying along the surface here. I'm looking for... Whoa, don't hurt me. Oh, the ship killed me good and proper. That was cool. Right, so we kind of fly along the surface, picking stuff up. Game over, player 1. We're going to have another go. Definitely having another go. So, 0, wasn't it, to play again? Do. Right. Okay. So, we'll go get this. I've got the booster this time that makes me go faster this way, which is probably handy, because I can't get the height. I'm trying to kind of get off the planet. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's my boosters. That's cool. Let's see if there's anything else down here that I need to shoot and kill. I'm taking a bit of damage there, but I'm alright. I'm alright. I've impacted. I've got one more impact to take before I'm dead. Crumbs. There we go. There's dead. But where am I meant to go once I've got this? Once I've oh, drop off the edge of this cliff. Oh, damn you. Kind of like the cliff, though. It's quite well done, that. I quite like the pink cliff. I like a bit of pink cliff for the whole thing. Alright, okay, I'm going down here to see if I can get anything else. Oh, there must be... Ah, going down seems to be a thing. Why are we going down, though? What are we finding down here? Going down is definitely a thing, though. Look. It's definitely a thing. What's down? So the Cyber Run clearly involves going downwards and building our ship up a bit here. Anybody actually played Cyber Run and know what I'm meant to be doing? I know that's kind of a moot question because I'm basically sort of sitting here giving it a go now. But I feel like now I'm meant to go downwards, and because I'm going downwards, there's something more to this. What is down here? I'm going down. I am going down into the depths of the... Oh, sugar! Come on. No! Oh! I want to go down further in there. Ooh. That's kind of cool. Oh, and I've got far enough down that I can stay down. Cool. Even better. That's what we like to hear. And we're down. Fuel. I've got fuel. Right, okay. I want to keep going down. Kind of going... Oh, am I going down? There's a bit of thing there. Don't shoot me. Oh! Wow. Well, I don't think I've actually played. I thought Cyber Run was much more harsh than that. I'll admit that was not as harsh as I remember it being. I'm not sure what we're meant to be doing on the Cyber Run, but that's kind of cool. 1988, that one it was. So at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but definitely not as harsh as I remember it being. It was the original time. The first time I think I played that, I don't think I got quite to grips with picking up the parts that you need to make your vehicle or your ship a little bit stronger to fly. So I think I missed all those bits and pieces. Pole. Now if this loads, I'll be all amazed. Pole position is a Atari Softs speed loader, and it's an absolute monster. I doubt it'll even load. It tends to be a bit of a hit and miss game. I've got a copy of it, a couple of copies of it, I think. Actually, it came in a sort of. It had a sort of mainly a sort of what I would call a green case with an inlay with the pole position logos and bits and pieces in there. It's an arcade game that was converted. It was an Atari arcade game, actually, one of the first ones to sort of have a steering wheel and let you sort of add a sort of accelerator and all that kind of stuff. And as I say, it's a speed loader. There we go. It's a bit of a beast for doing that, unfortunately. It doesn't really like you. And I don't know if we'll get it working on tape. I'm going to fast forward it through because I'm going to give it. I'm not even going to try attempting it from this again. I'm just trying to bypass it, and then what I'll do is I'll try it from our PlayZX and see if it works from there. Assuming it's there. Right. Okay. That's passed. So let's restart this and let's see if we can get PlayZX to give us an attempt at pole position. I can't remember what pole position's like on the Spectrum. I think the problem with these fast loaders is that over time, even the tapes have got worse, and the state of play for them is worse. And because they're worse, they just don't load. And as I say, Strange Loop is a kind of game that I have this fond feelings for. But I'll be honest, I don't remember it ever loading. There is a re-release here. Let's give this one a try. We might get lucky with the re-release. I don't know. If it's a speed loader, probably not. There's plenty of them. There's one by G. Whitehead. Pole position. 1 minute and 6 seconds. That's going to be a tiny little game. We might load that if this doesn't work, by the way, because that'll be just fun. There's several re-releases which are 5 minutes long. This re-release, though, for some reason, is 3 minutes long, which that doesn't make any sense at all, because how can it be 5 minutes long with a speed loader? I quite like the British Telecom loaders, though. Do you remember the British Telecom loaders? They were kind of interesting, weren't they? They were the ones with the blocks, and you can actually rewind on those. They load in blocks, so this block, that block, this block, this block, and if it would search for a block and then go back again, so it would do proper hexadecimal as well. So it went 00 to FF as it's loaded the blocks, which is kind of cool, So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. So basically carried up. It was kind of clever, really, though. It was kind of a clever little addition to the loader from for the Spectrum. This is interesting because there's nothing on the screen. These often don't come across as well as they should do. To be fair, you could load anything off PlayZX, I guess. Realistically, you could be. You could be loading anything you like off the top of these. Let's see whether or not it loads. Fingers crossed. If it doesn't load, I'm doing the G. Whitehead one. Because I like the idea of something that only takes 1 minute to load. I love the way there's different versions on here. I'm just reading through, looking at them. There's Pole Position, Atari Soft, 84 different, alternate, original, re-release, and then you've got GY Head. Very weird. I've got my fingers crossed this is going to load, by the way. I'm hoping this is re-release is just without the screen stuff on it. It's just a loader. Just loads, boom, on screen, done. Straight away, Pole Position. If I remember rightly, the Spectrum version of it is quite well coloured for a change. They don't normally do that. You don't normally colour the main sprites in it. There's a weird thing, isn't there, about all of this, colour clash and all this. Because anybody ever build a game that made use of the colour clash? There must be some game out there that makes use of the colour clash. Can you imagine if there is? I'm not sure what kind of game that would be. It feels like a puzzle game to me if it used the colour clash for some way of overlapping and changing the whole square to a colour. I bet there is. Because I mean, theoretically, you could use the attribute of that 8x8 square to see whether or not it had changed. So if you say you've got an 8x8 square that's a certain colour, and then you touch it with, say, another square, what does the rest of the square become? You can definitely see that, right? That's not loaded, by the way, was it? Oh, wait out, maybe. Brace myself. There's a little bit more to go. For a second there, I thought we were all over. And I think we're done. All right, let's stop. I'm going to go with G. Whitehead's version of this now, because if you've never seen Pole Position before, you're not going to see it right now either. So let's have a look at G. Whitehead's version of this. It's got to be fun. Let's go for it. It's only a minute and a bit to load, so let's go for it. Why not? That doesn't say Pole Position. Rennen. Okay. 1985, apparently. I think this is full basic. We're going full basic, peoples. Brace yourselves for the basic. Doesn't mean it's bad, by the way. Through the Wall was basic. If you never remember Through the Wall and your Horizon tape, that was basic. Well, it was basic with a lot of pokes in it to push things into it. Remember, who was it? I was writing a programmer. I can't remember who it was. I don't remember the name of the developer, but they didn't know how to do things, so he used peeks and pokes to put it into memory because they didn't know how to write in machine code. So basically, it was a basic program that used peeks and pokes to put it all into memory, and then they ran the program. Very bizarre approach to it, but it worked. I mean, and that's the beauty of some developers. Some developers knew how to use the hardware in certain ways, and they were kind of maverick in their own thing. Pole Position, program audio and visuals by G. Whitehead. Thank you, G. Whitehead. Oh, look at that! Prepare to qualify. Oh wow, really? That does look like Pole Position. What are my controls? Oh my god. That's actually really good. G. Whitehead, my man. Impressive. That's actually really quite impressive. Wow. You just have to avoid it. Can I accelerate? So you just have to avoid them by moving left and right. This is kind of cool. This, for a basic game, is very impressive. Nice one, G. Whitehead. I'm impressed. That's actually really impressive. Kudos to this one. There's no way to see where you're moving, but you're just avoiding stuff. That's kind of cool. Very good. So you're just avoiding stuff, but I tell you what, for a basic game, that's quite a bit of a feat of specky engineering, that. So clearly I'm passing these cars. I'm going down the road at full speed. Wow. Wow. I can't wait till see the lap thing if I can get there. Bad luck. What do you mean bad luck? I don't know what happened there. And it's actually ended the game. Look. Run. That's really cool. By the way, that is really cool. That's an awesome little game. Nice one. That's actually quite impressive for what it is. I'll prepare to qualify. I'm quite impressed by that, really, because it's quite smooth for a Spectrum game that's doing. You know, in basic. I'm going to assume there's a lot of pokes and peeks in it, but that's kind of cool. Right, let's go down to basic and let's load the next one. See if we can get this next game to load, whatever it was. No idea what else is on this tape. I know we read it out at the beginning, but I never expected to be on the other side of the tape for this. And there's a space. There was a space now. Didn't expect to be on the other side of the tape. There were some other titles on here. I can't remember what they all were, but definitely looked interesting. Can't quite see through the top of the cassette case there, through the top of the what's written on it. It's still playing. There's a good space there. There we go. What's that? Ah! Went too far with the fast forward in there. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Nope, no idea. Let's go back. Push the button again. Let's see if it'll go. Soul of a Robot. Yay! Soul of a Robot. That's not going to load though. I know what Soul of a Robot is, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to whip it in. I'm going to whip out my cable. I'm going to stick it straight into my phone and bring up Soul of the Robot because we can skip to the next bit after that, and then we'll see what else is on here. See, this will be the bit where we got the surprises. Soul of a Robot. Yes, Soul of the Robot. Classic. Loved this one. I didn't even realise this was part 2 of the Non-Triaqueous thing. We had this. Did we have Non-Triaqueous a couple of weeks ago? Something like that, didn't we? But I didn't realise this was like part 2 of the whole thing. This is the second sort of Soul of the Robot part of the whole thing. It was. I mean, what I really liked about it was this cover was a little robot, sort of like tin can-esque. I guess it had the head of the original Non-Triaqueous thing, the little circular ball version of it, and the body of the other mode that you could swap into, sort of stuck together with a few arms. And some wings on the back of it. It was really quite an interesting combination. I'm looking at the tape now, by the way, because it says Soul of the Robot, but then it says nothing else afterwards. This is where it had Space Harrier written on it, but I still like saying Non-Triaqueous, by the way. That's a cracking flipping name for anything. I mean, really good name for something. I love the Star Wars feel, by the way, in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. We've got that Star Wars thing where he's standing on the plane with his sword in the air. Yes, nothing like a bit of evil AI to do it. This is we'd already been told. When did we get Terminator? Was that 84, wasn't it? Was it 84 we got Terminator? I think it was. So by then we were all expecting ourselves to need John Connor to save us all from the thing. What happened to that franchise as well, by the way? Jesus. I mean, what happened to that franchise? We obviously had the first one, which was an absolute classic. You know, we all love the very first Terminator. Brilliantly done. Low budget, sci-fi, fantastic. Second one, a lot bit more money. Absolutely nailed it. I'm still not big keen on the child actors and things, but I think they nailed it with the second one as well, with the liquid metal thing coming back in the second one. Then you had the third one. It was a bit older. It was a different person. It wasn't quite the same characters. Yeah, sort of liquid metal, not liquid metal, like mechanical robot thingy. I mean, it was all right. I mean, I remember seeing it in the pictures, that one, actually. It was one of the first 12As in the UK, which meant it had like one shocking moment and one bad language. And this is when they went to that whole moment of going, I'll tell you what, we'll make all these R-rated stroke, 18s, we'll make them all 12s so we get a bigger audience through the door. And that's also my big bugbear with these things. You know, they did that to things. It's a bit like Disney, now owns Deadpool, and they don't want to do anything with it. Well, but they do. They don't. But they're gonna have to convince them to make it an 18, which is ridiculous, or a 15 at least, which it really should. For the bad language and the stupid sexual content and the extreme violence, which is which notes the character Deadpool in comic books. But anyway, that's an aside. But yeah, that was that whole 12A, and when I saw it as a 12A, I was like, no, you can't do that. And then I don't know what we've had in between, haven't we? We've had some other Terminator movies. Oh, there was the one with Christian Bale. I didn't actually mind that. I think a lot of people hated that one. Remember Christian Bale, where he was where there was that other Terminator that was like half human, half not, and then he takes his heart and all this kind of stuff. And Christian Bale's John Connor. I didn't actually hate that much. I'll be honest. I don't know what everybody else feels, but I can't remember what that was called. Survivor, something or other. Savior, something. But that one I didn't hate that much. It was the ones that after that get a bit. What was it? Genesis was. Yeah. And then there's the latest one as well, isn't there? Which is not exactly cricket as such. It's not. I don't even know why I'm using that terminology because I don't follow cricket. But it wasn't the best of things. My mobile phone's making buzzing noises now. Hang on a second, because it's still playing the tape. Stop. There. Thank you very much. The tape has stopped playing. Right. Okay. So this one. Let's place number 1 for keyboard. Right. Because yes, this is that Soul of the Robot. What's left and right? Now we need to remember the keys. That's jump. Yep. That's left and right. You got jump size. Yeah, there we go. Remember this. Boing. And then we've got, what was the shoot? There's a shoot button. I know there is. Was it H to fly or something like that? W to fly? No, that's the jump thing. That one where we got his nipples. Look, there's Nipply Man. Nipples. Fly through it with our nipples. We use our powerful nipples to fly us up. I think you use your psychic power for that one. It's really weird, that nipply bit. But I do love the graphics on this one. And you've got to remember this is a budget title as well. So where's the shoe? No, you see, they don't kill you. I told you they didn't. They just absolutely irritate the hell out of you. Oh, no, you have to fall far enough to break. That's it. I remember that now. Oh, God. I fell too far. What's the fire? I don't know what fire is. There is a shoot button. I know there is. Where are you? Shooting. Where's your shoot button? Yeah. And then... Ah! There we go. Get across this gap. Oh, that's something I've got to do something with. You've touched a deadly object. Press fire to continue. Space is fire, by the way. I think. No, it's not. Oh, I don't know what fire is. You touched a deadly object. It happens all the time for me. I love the way it just jumps the gap automatically when you walk around these things. I don't know what the L's for. That L's disappeared. Soul of the Robot. I quite like this as a Spectrum game. I had no idea what I was doing or what I was trying to do or where I was trying to get to. I remember being quite impressed by it as a Spectrum game and thinking that this is a really good game. The looks of it and the feel of it were really, absolutely right. Here we go. Jump across there. Run. Run. Oh no. Here we go. Big fall. I can't remember what the button is to fire, though. Yeah, that's the death comes from big falls. There we go. Nothing can hurt you, but the death comes from falls. Love the graphics, though. The graphics are fantastic. The aliens are really cool. Robot design's great, apart from possibly the nipples. Now, there's nothing wrong with his nipples being out, I promise you. Look, where's his nipples? There's his nipples. Nipples! I'm shouting nipples at the end of the episode. We don't want to be doing nipples. Right, okay. I can't find the fire button, though. I can't remember what it is. Thing is, I know there's a fire button. It can't be far away because I used it in the last time I played this. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, but that's Soul of the Robot. We've seen that before. I want to see what's on the end of this tape. I have a feeling we've got nothing else, but I really want to see what's the end of it because we've done a full tape. I was going to save it till next week for the other part, but we can't just have we can't just have. That's not Soul of the Robot, is it? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, hang on. Fast forward. We need to press brake, by the way. Brake! Because we need to load it again. And we're almost there. I can feel it. I can feel we're almost at the end of Soul Robot. It's quite a long loader, actually, Soul Robot. There we go. I think we might have Space Harrier. There's actually a fair old amount of tape left. I'm quite surprised by that, to be honest with you. Didn't think there would be so much tape left. But that's why it's called What's on the Tape, if you haven't realised. Trademark. Milk Race. Oh my god, it's a classic. We've had the Milk Race before, haven't we? This appeared was it last week or the week before? Milk Race. Everybody said we should have Lucozade nowadays, though, or something like that, or Powerade, or whatever it is. I can't remember. Mountain Dew, or something like that. Some kind of energy drink. Monster. It'd probably be Monster, wouldn't it be nowadays? I bet they're sponsored by something like that. What do they drink nowadays, then? Is it just... Do they not drink water? No, they all drink, like ones with what's it called? Electrolytes in it, don't they? That's what it is, electrolytes. But it's got natural electrolytes in it. That's what it's got, natural electrolytes. But apparently, I got educated, by the way. There is actually something called the Milk Race, which is a race around the United Kingdom. I did not know that. I don't know if they do it anymore, though. I don't think anybody told me whether or not they do it anymore in the comments. But apparently, it was a thing back in the day. That's all I can say. Realistically, it was a thing. I think they still do a lot. People do a lot of biking still. It's still a popular thing. Look at that. Look at him biking. Look at the size of his arms. His arms are almost as big as his legs. That's proper racer bike. I actually just realised how off-center it looks, though. His body's like lifting slightly to the right of him there. Our left, his right. At least he's got his helmet on, at least. He's completely obliterating the other bikers who are right behind him. Just leaving them behind. The art by Stu. What's the bit in the bottom corner, though, beside his bike? Just next to the word Stu, there's like a bit of artistic rambling going on there, isn't there? It's like a picture of Stu's house or something. Stu did an artistic rendition of his futuristic space bunker or something similar. First, Milk Race from Mastertronic. So this is weird, isn't it? But I tell you what, it's not weird because it came from the same bundle of tapes. So the same bundle of tape as the one the other week. I can imagine this is the case that the people that I think I probably did the same. I probably had multiple copies of the other things, from the whole thing. But you know the worst thing we're ever doing, and you'll know this if you ever did this, is when your mate had a copy and then you took a copy of the copy. It's a bit like that videotape, that's been worn through, where everybody copied the copy of a copy of a copy, and the tape's just barely watchable. It's kind of the same thing. The fidelity goes as you duplicate the duplicate, you know. So now I'm now thinking of that movie with Michael Keaton in it, Multiplicity. Do you remember Multiplicity? Where he clones himself so that he can have more time to go fishing and other things and all that kind of stuff. And he clones one of himself to be more, domestic, so that the cooking at home and whatever else is. And then clones himself to go one of them to go who's serious, who wants to go to work. And then the clones clone themselves to make their lives easier. And the duplicate isn't quite the same as the original duplicates. He's slightly challenged, I think, so a fair word to say, because it's the duplicate of a duplicate. So it gets very weird. Isn't his wife Annie McDowell? Annie McDowell? I think it is. And then there's a whole sexual thing that goes on with that as well, which is kind of weird. But yes. Anyway, that's a beside. Oh, look at that prologue trial. Newcastle 1 mile. Newcastle to Newton Ancliffe, right? Darlington to Hull. Hull to Lincoln, Lincoln to Sheffield, Sheffield to Circuit Race, Sheffield to Derby, Birmingham. There's a lot of miles, actually. The first one's only prologue time is only 1 mile. I can't even get past that. Right, okay, anyway, let's go for it. Right. Yeah, you got to press through the gears. Let's go through the gears. Oh, fell off my bike already. There's the guy in in his. That's it. Just push through all the gears. That's it. You got to. Oh, get your milk. Get your milky. Milky. Oh, hang on. Don't. What's he doing? I'm going downhill. I'm position 47th. I've got to get some milk or we're in trouble. No, there's milk there, but I've not got milk. No milk. No, need my milk. Oh, I got there. Oh, I've done something. Yeah, you kind of... The whole 12th gear thing, by the way. You meant to go up and down the gears, but there's just no point. Does that make sense? There's no point in changing the gears. You might as well stay in 12th gear the whole way. So once you get to the top of the range of the gears, you might as well go through. I'm zipping through the crowd. Oh, I got some milk. Crashed into him, though. Look at these guys with their flat caps on at the bottom screen. And it's the energy that's going to kill me, though. That's what the problem is. Oh, that's why. I forgot. The less energy, use less energy with different gears, lower gears. Yes. I forgot that. Nice bit of sort of synthy music though at the end there. Kind of cool. I'm having another go quickly. Well, I've got lots of milk power in me. There we go. I'm biking hard. I've been 45th. I'm already smashing my. Oh God! I crashed into the car. Right, I'm gonna change gear here. I'm gonna go. Get off! He's just gone off one side. He's just going in a big circle. Oh no! He's going in a big circle again. I can't even do 1 mile of it. You notice the gradient at the top corner of the screen, though. On top. Oh, sod. The top right-hand corner. There's the gradient. I'm just gonna change gear until I'm up to 12. Oh, your strength does go down a lot when you do that gear. I didn't expect it to go that badly. Oh my God! I fell off again. He's run me over. And we'll see what else is on the tape. I don't know if we'll get anything else out of it, but we'll have a try. It's worth a crack. There's been a bit of space on here. It's one of those. As I say, it's been a bit of an odd episode. I didn't expect to be on here for so long, but at the same time, I'm enjoying it. I don't know, Bo. I hope you are too. Actually, to be honest, I hope you're having fun. It's been an interesting tape. I think we've still got a bit more space. Maybe not. We may not have a little bit more space, but we'll see. Might be finished on the milk run. It's like those milk bottles you used to get. Do you remember those sweeties, milk bottle type things? They were quite cool. I always liked the cola ones as well. You still get cola bottles, don't you? I think the best place to get those, and I'll be honest, Sainsbury's is my favourite place for milk bottles. Not milk bottles, cola bottles, because they I think they do them for like 55p for quite a large bag of those things. Quite nice. Used to like the old school versions of the proper sweeties where they were really sugary and horrible. Cola cubes. Just love cola cubes as well. Choked on a few cola cubes as a kid. Always used to just suck them and then suck them until they got small, and then always end up swallowing them accidentally and choking on them. I think all my friends knew how to do the Heimlich maneuver. All laugh and point while I choked on the cola cube. I think everybody's choked on the cola cube. Have you ever had a cola cube? I reckon everybody's choked on a cola cube. Hands up if choked on a cola cube. I reckon you're all putting your hands in the air right now. That's it. It was What's on the Tape, and it was milk race to finish. Anyway, I've been your host, Real Generic Demon. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye now.